Hello everyone, I just want to start 5E, multiples of pi on 6 and pi on 4. So from Eddie Wood's video, you would have already learned that there are two special triangles, and those two special triangles will help you to understand this graph here, because you're gonna see this graph all the time. But if you really remember the two special triangles, you really don't need to remember that many. And as you know already, that I am not really keen to remember a lot of formula myself. So really, it is built upon your understanding of the two special triangles. So to sum up a little bit for this chapter, when solving a trig issue so far, so we have the two special triangles to work out. Okay, so that's one of your two. So that's 30 degrees. Of course, that's 60 degrees. So that's 1 root 3, 2. And another triangle is 45 degrees, which is this equal side. So that's 1, 1 root 2. So from these two special triangles, you pretty much got all these values here. And second, always do not forget to put them in the unit circle. Okay, so we haven't learned the trig function. So trig function would be your tool number 3. Okay, so far, just remember, we always use triangles, okay, for the trig issue, and then we can use unit circle to put things into unit circle to decide the signs. Does that make sense? Because either it's positive or negative, okay? So, and again, another thing for you to remember is in which quadrant the sine and cos and tangent, whether that's positive or negative. I only recommend you to remember the sine and cos, and then you can use the sine divided by cos to decide whether tangent is positive or negative. Okay, so say for example in quadrant 1, sine positive, cos positive, therefore tangent positive. And in quadrant 2, sine positive, cos negative, therefore tangent is the ratio, therefore it's negative. Okay, here sine negative, cos negative, tangent positive. Okay, because again, when you have a coordinate here, you know that is positive sine, okay, and then is negative cosine. Okay, here would be sine negative, cos positive, tangent negative. Okay, so if you remember these, you should be able to solve most of the problem. So let's have a look at example 12. So because I has already talked about all the theory, and this is my recap, so I think it's best if I talk through the question so you know how to work those questions. Okay, find the exact value of sine alpha, cos alpha, and tangent alpha for alpha is 3 pi on 4. So my strategy would be knowing exactly where 3 pi on 4 is. So that's pi on 4. That's pi on 2, like 2 pi on 4. And that's 3 pi on 4. And we could actually put that in the unit circle. Okay, so and then we know that sine 3 pi on 4 would be positive 1 on root 2, or you could have root 2 over 2. Okay, cos 3 pi on 4 would be your negative, because again it's negative. Okay, it's negative here, so that would be negative 1 on root 2, negative root 2 on 2. Therefore tangent 3 pi on 4 would be negative 1. You know that immediately because, again, from the special triangle, you already know that all the trig and all the trig values. Okay, so this is how you can solve problems really quickly. Example 13. Find the exact values of sine 4 pi on 3, 4 pi on 3, and tangent 4 pi on 3. Okay, step 1, you know where exactly 4 pi on 3. So again, you don't really have to remember anything. All you need to do is that you know like 4 pi on 3 is a multiple of pi on 3, okay? So pi on 3 is 180 on 3 is 60 degrees. Does that make sense? Okay, so it's 60 degrees. So therefore, if I have pi on 3, that's pi on 3, 2 pi on 3, and 3 pi on 3 would be a pi. So therefore, that's 3 pi on 3 will be your pi, and then 4 pi on 3. Does that make sense? Okay, and then that would be your 5 pi on 3. And that would be your 6 pi on 3, which is 2 pi. Okay, so in knowing this will be very, very helpful because all we need to know that it is which quadrant. So now we know that it is in quadrant 3. Okay, so we could use the pi on 3 results and then giving the relative whether it's positive or negative. So we could write it very easily. 4 pi on 3 because it's quadrant 3, so sign is negative. Okay, so sign is negative, and then we know that with sine pi on 3, sine is negative root 3 on 2 because I'm just going to write down here sine. If you like, you can actually write these two, sine pi on 3. Remember that special triangle. So that would be 60 degrees. So sine pi on 3 is 60 degrees. So root 3, 2, 1. So root 3 over 2. Cos pi on 3 would be 1 on 2. Okay. Tangent pi on 3 would be root 3 because it's opposite adjacent. Okay. So using these, we could actually do cos 4 pi on 3 is negative 1 on 2. Tangent 4 pi on 3 is positive root 3. Okay, so you can see that by, this is the answer. By knowing how to, using the special triangles, like you could actually literally do that and then, sub it in, well, not really sub it in. So you can literally do that and then, see which quadrant and then just change the sign. Okay.